Rob Fraser here. Wanted to talk about when it's hard to keep going. Basically, there's a few things happening recently, and the different businesses I promote, and from the people who follow me, just the different businesses. Some of them getting shut down, some of them going out of business in essence, and there's a lot of people who are kind of recovering from that. Some people came to me saying, hey, I just don't know if I just keep doing these things. I just want to give up, different things like that. And not to take anything away from anybody, because you never know what somebody else is going through. But you have to look at this, take some life lessons from the things that have been going on recently, especially in online businesses. And if you've been around online businesses, they come and go. Some are around, some are hot, some die down. You go through this life cycle of stuff, if you will. And when you're put in different situations in life where you have no choice but to keep going, that's going to carry over to your business. And it's a perfect life parallel. One time in my own life where it was hard for me to keep going was after August 8th, 2008. August 8th, 2008. I remember the date to the T. It's when my ex-wife took my kids and she left California and drove across the country to Florida. And I had her stay behind in California because I had 4 more years in the Marine, about 3 more years in the Marine Corps to serve at that time. I didn't have a counselor. I didn't have coaches. I didn't have help. I didn't have a sponsor. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anyone to talk to, especially not in my chain of command, because they were sympathetic about the ex-wife and making sure she was taken care of, even over myself, the Marine. And for me, the day she left, I remember sitting in my car, breaking down, losing it. But the next day, I had to pick my ass up and go back into work and continue doing what I was doing. And it was at that point I knew I wanted to be self-employed and working for myself. August 8th, 2008. I don't tell this story a lot, but that was the day I knew I wanted to be self-employed. I wanted to help other men who were written off as deadbeats, who have no power in their own life, because that's what it was. It was just taking everything I had, identified myself as, and just watching it leave, and me standing there not being able to do anything to change the situation. And no matter how hard I worked, no matter how hard I pleaded, no matter how hard I tried, just everything still fell apart in my own life, and I felt helpless. I knew I didn't want to ever feel that helpless again. And so from there, this whole thing came about. My decision to help people. I know I don't ever want to feel that helpless again. So if there's anyone out there in that same situation, it's my intent to help them. And even though it may not be in online marketing, but it's the same thing. There's people who are crying about not finding different levels of success in their business when they haven't even begun to fight. They haven't even begun to really give this thing a shot. And in my own case, when that happened, and from that day forward, I knew I wanted power over my own life. I wanted to help people in the same situation. Not necessarily men, but men and women who just feel helpless about a certain situation in their own life, who want to do something to change it. I want to give those folks help and a path and a plan to follow, because I know if I can do it, anyone listening to me can do it. Has it been easy? No. There's been lots of times frustrated, up late at night, up early in the morning, bloodshot eyes, trying to get everything figured out online. Nobody's listening to me. Nobody's listening to my videos. Nobody's watching my marketing. I'm not making any money. I'm getting more and more broke. People know my story. April 30th, 2015, I was over $100,000 in debt. January 8th of 2016, I ended up paying it off because, again, I had another breaking point, and I get sick and tired of being helpless, and I get sick and tired of being broke, and I get sick and tired of people calling me, asking me for the money that I owe them, the whole deal. It's just feeling helpless and getting sick and tired of feeling helpless. You're working your ass off for a certain result, and it's just not happening. I know, I've been there. But the only thing I can say to help get you over that hump is, number one, you have to stay persistent. Number two, you have to get around other folks who have been there. It's one thing to listen to the person who has already been there or has been there their whole life, but it's another thing to listen to a person who has gone through the exact same struggles, who have dug their way out the sewer to get back on top when it comes to certain things. So, understand that different things will always set you back in life. But if you make the decision that I'm going to do this thing, period, that's it. That's all there is to it. Now, it may take some time. It may take a lot of frustration. It may take a lot of wanting to give up. There's been plenty of times I wanted to just write everything off and give it up. But I didn't. And I kept hammering it out. And now I'm in a much more solid and stable place. So if I can get to this place, anyone can. And it's my purpose and my intent to help other folks who want to do the same thing in their own life. I know what it feels like to be working your butt off to make something happen, and it just doesn't happen the way you want to. And it never happens the way you want to. Things always go wrong. Programs go out. Just so many different distractions. So many things happen. The only thing you can do at the end of the day is to stay persistent and to get around folks who have been there and who can help you. So if you're in that situation, reach out to me, leave your comments below this video. Let me know where you're coming from. I spent 12 years in the Marine Corps. Life-changing divorce forced me out. The divorce was nasty. We had a lot of nasty details come up, and long story short, I'm still working on reconnecting with my kids. I haven't seen my kids in over 5 years. And it's something I carry around with me every single day. I've got to a place, and for me, it was always just about personal power, getting sick and tired of other people having forces over your life. And she would keep the kids from me. And I'm not trying to paint her in a bad light, because I had my moments. But at the end of the day, I know I still love my kids. And this is just one thing that I'm constantly working towards, that I have no idea how it's going to play out, but I'm not ever going to just give up, because I love my kids. And despite what happened with me and the mother, I still have to keep doing what I got to do. And there's, not anywhere near accomplishing my goal. But if I give up, then where will I end up? So, that being said, hopefully you got some value out of this video. Leave your comments, questions, concerns below, and, reach out to me. We'll see you in the next one.